Okay. So yesterday we seen what are the course content we covered during this training, like from basic to advanced. We'll cover this during this training. Means any DBA, so that could be post to any database DBA. So they have to start from basic onwards because you guys don't know. So any DBA course they have to start from basic onwards. What are the basic concepts means? What are the prerequisites? It should be Linux commands. Basic commands are there. Then SQL, then PL/SQL. So if you are good with these two concepts, if you are good with these two concepts, so we are good to start any DBA course. So first we have to start with from basic onwards. So we are good with these two concepts. Then we have to start with any DBA course, not only PostgreSQL DBA, because this SQL is a common language, for any database. For all the databases, what is the common language? SQL. For SQL means structured query language. So for SQL, extension is PL SQL. So this is the operating system. So Linux is one of the kind of operating system. Please keep unmute yourself. If you have any queries, okay, we'll. So this is a kind of operating system. So all the database are running on a Linux operating system. So we have to know Linux basic commands. What are the basic commands required to perform DBA job? So there are 50 to 60 commands are there. 50 to 60 commands are there. So we go through first Linux basic commands, how to install the Linux operating system. What are the flavors available Linux operating system? So once we are familiar with these commands, we have to start with SQL language. This is the SQL language for any database. This is the common language. So these two are common for any DBA course. If you are familiar with these two concepts, then we can start with any DBA course. So PostgreSQL DBA. So we are going to start PostgreSQL DBA. So once we complete these two, then we are good to start PostgreSQL DBA. So once complete DBA course, then we have to we'll cover some cloud technologies like AWS 1 week, then real-time project. Okay, so real-time project under some tools. So this is the things we are going to cover during this training. So we'll see. Okay, so what is the operating system? We know. So which operating system we know? So there is what operating system you know? Tell me. What are the operating systems are there? What is the operating system?
Windows.
So Windows. Example, Windows. We all are knows Windows operating system. In Windows, what are the versions available? Can tell
Windows 10, Windows 10, Windows 11.
Yes, Windows 10. Now latest Windows 10, Windows 9, Windows 8, Windows 7, Windows XP. Another, there is a server version are there, Windows Server. So like this, these are the versions available in case of Windows operating system. So why we need to require this operating system? Suppose if you purchase a mobile, okay, there is a pre-installed one operating system for mobiles also. What is the operating system for mobiles? Android
OS.
Most of the mobiles are Android mobiles. There is another iOS. So if you don't have Android operating system, are you able to call to someone using that mobile? Are you able to receive that calls? No, even calls also not coming. So to interact, to use, if you want to use that mobile, any device, not only mobile, if you take a mobile or tab, okay, or so laptop, whatever, computer, if you take any device, these are the devices. If you take any device, if you want to interact with, if you want to utilize this tab, whatever the tab you have, whatever the laptop you have, whatever the computer you have, desktop, So if you want to utilize any of the device, the device at least it has installed one operating system. It has installed at least one operating system. For mobile or tab, these are the pre-installed operating system. For laptop or computer, for laptop or desktop. So what are the operating systems? Windows. Yes, Windows, we have these many flavors available, these many versions available. There is another operating system is there. There is a for a laptop or desktop, there is a two types of operating systems are there. One is Windows operating system. Second is Linux operating system. Linux or Unix. So what are the Linux flavors available? RHEL, Ubuntu, CentOS, and IBM Linux. Okay, so IBM Linux, HP Linux. So it is there are n number of Linux flavors. RHL means Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Ubuntu, yes, this is one of the Linux flavor. This is CentOS. This is kind of Linux, one of the flavor. IBM Linux. So this operating system, who developed this operating system? IBM Linux. HP Linux, who developed this operating system? HP Linux. Windows operating system, who is the owner of this Windows operating system? Tell me. Who developed this operating system? Any software that has developed by one of the organization.
Bill
So
Gates.
that organization, we can say owner of the product.
Microsoft.
So Microsoft. So Microsoft, they developed this is the operating system. Yes. So owner of this product, Microsoft company. So same way RHEL, this is one of the Linux flavor. Who developed this product? RHEL, Red Hat Enterprise Linux. There is a Red Hat company. OEL, the same OEL, Oracle Enterprise Linux. Who developed this OEL flavor? Oracle company. CentOS, there is a CentOS company is there. They developed one flavor of the operating system Linux. Their given name is CentOS. IBM Linux. Who developed this IBM Linux product? IBM company. We know. HP Linux, yes. Like this, different flavors available in Linux operating system, different versions available in Windows operating system. So any device, any computer, any laptop, they should use either Windows operating system or Linux operating system. Any one of the operating system, they have to use. Until unless we cannot interact with that system. So if you maybe you guys purchase a laptop. So if the operating system doesn't install on the laptop, we cannot open the laptop. We cannot install any software. If you want to install VLC software, yes, we all are knows VLC software, VLC player. So how to play the songs? You have to install the VLC player, then you have to play the songs. So how to install VLC player? Any computer, any laptop, where you want to install the VLC software, there you must and should install one operating system. So Windows operating system, you should install any one of the Windows operating system. Then I can install any software. That could be VLC player, that could be anything. So to interact with any computer, any device, at least we required one operating system. It has installed on the device, so that we can interact with the computer. We can install software, we can do anything. So there is two types of operating systems are there for computer. One is Windows, another one is Linux operating system. So Windows is a GUI based operating system. Windows is a GUI based operating system. What is the GUI? Graphical user interface. Means with the help of mouse, we can do anything in case of Windows operating system. So in Windows, how we can store the data? Tell me. In Windows operating system, how we can store that? Suppose I want to store one data. So I want to store some mobile numbers in my laptop. How we can store? Tell me. In my laptop, I want to store some contact details. Some 10 members are there, 10 mobile numbers. I want to store in my laptop. How you can store? Open the notepad, enter the data, then we have to save it somewhere, save it a D drive or something. That's it. Correct, right? Means I have to open the notepad. How to open the notepad? With the help of notepad, I can with the help of mouse, I can open the notepad. Suppose, okay. Open new notepad. Okay, so can see, let me plus, can see here, this is Venkat, okay, confidential data. I want to store this data. So you have to save this, save. So it's asking where you want to save, in which drive. These are the drives, C drive, D drive, E drive. How many partitions are drives? Both are same. These are the partitions, drives, Windows, C drive, D drive, E drive. So you can store anywhere, either C drive, either D drive, either E drive. Suppose I want to store E drive. It's asking file name. Yes, Venkat file. You can give any name. Click on save. Yes, the file is saved. So that means in Windows, everything is file or folder. Yes or no? In Windows, everything either file or folder. If you go to, okay, so E drive, you can say what are the things you are able to see. These all are, you can say this selected all the things. What is this? Files or folders? Files or folders, the highlighted one.
Folder.
All are folders. So these all the things, can say these all, can say
Files.
files. So under type you can say if it is a folder, file folder means these are the folders. Under type, if it is a file, there is a test document. So in Windows operating system, it should be either everything is file or folder. If you want to store the data, yes, you can use file. What is the purpose of file? Tell me, what is the purpose of file? To store the data, yes or no? To store the data. Now I saved some data. That is the purpose of file, to save the data, to store the data. Okay. So what is the purpose of folder? To store the files. N number of files you can keep one folder. Folder, it contains files. Folder, it contains files. You can see here. So suppose, okay, this is the folder. It contains n number of files. The files could be MS Word documents, whatever. These all are files. This is the MS Word document. This is the test file. Inside the file, I can store the data. Inside the folder, I can store multiple files. Clear? File or folder. Folder, it contains n number of files. A file, it can use, what is the purpose of file? To store the data. So this is in Windows operating system. It should be either file or folder. There are partitions are there. In Windows operating system, there are partitions are there. What are the, how many partitions are there? How to verify? Go to the folder, you can say click on PC. How many partitions are there in my laptop? 1, 2, 3. So what is the total capacity? What is the total size this partition? What is the partition name? C drive, C partition. What is the total capacity? 296 GB assigned for this partition. Out of 296 GB, how much free? You can say space free. 135 GB is free. What is the total size of this drive? 296 GB. Second partition. What is the, how much space? Tell me.
181.
191 GB. What is the total capacity of this D drive? 925 GB. So this partition name, E partition, E drive. What is the space free? 104 GB. So what was the total size? 634. So you have to add this all, you have to sum this all the total capacity so that you can get the storage, how much storage, how much hard disk is there. You can say 634. What is the total space here? 634, 925. Almost 1.5 terabyte. Here 300 means almost 1.8 terabyte my hard disk in this laptop. How to verify memory? How to verify what was the memory? How much RAM is there? There is a PC. You can see icon. Right click on the PC, click on properties. There you can see how much RAM is installed. How much installed RAM? 32 GB installed in my laptop. What was the processor? Intel i5. Intel i5 10th generation. 10 means it's a 10th generation. Processor name is i5. i5 Intel Core i5 processor 10th generation. This is how can verify in Windows operating system. Windows operating system. The system properties. What was the configuration of your laptop? When you buy laptop, maybe today or tomorrow, this week you plan to go to new laptop or second hands. So before buying this laptop, you have to verify what was the configuration in this laptop. How much storage is there? How much hard disk is there? What was the RAM? How much RAM is installed? What was the processor? So which generation it is? Processor i5, i7, i8, i9, i10. Now the latest i10, i11 also there. Processor 10th generation. So minimum i5 is required. The generation 10th generation. RAM in minimum it's required 12 GB or 16 GB. That's fine. So this is how you can verify which Windows operating system installed. Windows 11 installed. Windows 11. What operating system installed in my window in my laptop? Windows 11. When it was installed, this is the date. Clear? To check the system configuration in Windows, it's very easy. Just right click on the PC, go to properties. There you can see installed RAM details. What was the processor? What is the which generation it is, and what operating system installed? Everything you can see. And go to the PC. There we can see capacity of the hard disk. So in Windows, these are the partitions. We can create a number of partitions. When we can create partitions, tell me these partitions when we can create. Yes, anyone, any idea?
While installing the OS.
While installing operating system, there how many partitions you require, you can create. Later also you can create. Yes, the main thing is while installing operating system, that time we can create the partitions. If you want to create 5 partitions, yes, we can create. Later also, now also you can create, but that is not our task. That is taken care by Windows admin in real time. Just we have to know Windows operating system. Everything is either file or directory, file or folder. Folder nothing but it contains n number of files. File is nothing but it contains the data. So there is a partitions are there. Partitions means these are the partitions. Partitions are drives. That is about Windows operating system. Any queries from anyone? Anyone, any queries? So there are 2 types of operating systems. One is a Windows, other one is the Linux. Windows is a GUI based operating system. So with the help of mouse, we can do anything. So it contains either file or folder. File means it contains the data. Folder means it contains a number of files. Okay. So in Windows, it's very easy to see the system configuration, to see the hard disk, how much hard disk there, what was the RAM installed, what was the processor, which generation it is, everything will be seen. That is about Windows operating system. Okay, next. There is a second kind of operating system, Linux or Unix. So this is a command-based operating system. This is a command-based operating system. Command-based means If you want to suppose, if you want to open file, suppose in Linux also, everything is either file or directory. In Linux also we can, their files are there, but instead of folder, here folders, here file and folder in case of Windows operating system. So in case of Linux, it should be either file or directory. Directory means it's file folder only. Directory means it's a folder only, but in case of Linux operating system, the terminology changed. Here folder, in case of Linux, we can call as a directory. So what is the purpose of file? Same. To store the data. Yes, to store the data. What is the purpose of directory? Directory means it's a folder only. What is the purpose of folder in case of Windows? To keep n number of files. N number of files inside a directory. Inside a directory, yes. Inside directory, we can keep n number of files. That is the purpose of folder, purpose of directory. Both are same. In case of Linux operating system, we can say directory. In case of Windows operating system, we can say folder. Clear? Okay. Suppose here I want to open a file. In Linux operating system, I want to open a file. How to open? You have to give the command. It's completely command based operating system. Linux is a completely any flavor of the Linux. There are there are many flavors available in Linux operating system. For all the flavors, the commands are same commands. It works for any flavor of the Linux. If you know command to open the file, that command it will work for any flavor of the Linux. That could be RHEL, that could be Ubuntu, that could be OEL, that could be CentOS, either IBM, IHP, anywhere. The commands are common. But any flavor of the Linux, it works based on the commands only. So that's why you can say it's a command based operating system. With the help of mouse, we can't do anything in case of Linux operating system. So why they are using Linux operating systems? So few of the projects they are using Windows operating system. Few of the projects they are using Linux operating system. When we can use Windows OS, when we can use Linux OS. Suppose there is a SBI project, SBI Bank. You know, we all are knows SBI Bank is there. So in bank, what kind of data is available? Okay. Okay. So there is a SBI Bank is there. So every bank, it contains confidential data, means customers data. Customers, each and every customer, what was the deposit, what was the withdraw. So this all the data very important. It's a very confidential. They have to maintain very confidential this data. All the banks means. Okay, let me open Paint. You can see here. This is the front end SBI net banking application. www.sbinetbanking.com. So this is the end users that they can log into net banking. This is the web portal. Log into net banking, they can do whatever they want. Suppose if you want to deposit, if you want to withdraw, if you want to transfer, whatever the transfer. So if you want to do transfer to someone, yes, I can do it in the web portal using SBI net banking. There is a apps are there mobile. So this application is linked with one database backend. This is my database. This is my database. You have to use any one of the database. Suppose you can use any database. That could be Oracle, that could be PostgreSQL, that could be MySQL. Any one of the database they have to use. So what is the purpose of database? To store the data. Whatever the application in front end application. So whatever the data submitted by customers, the data will be saved in the database. This database contains customers data. This is very, very important. They have to maintain very confidential. Some hackers, they they try to hack the data. Yes, means there is a, suppose if you maintain a net banking, the username password. If someone is hack our username password, yes, they can log in, they can transfer the amount. So that's why this data is very crucial. This data is very, very important. They have to maintain very, very confidential. So to maintain this data to confidentially, they have to run on the database top of Linux operating system. Linux operating system. If it is Windows operating system, if it is Windows OS, the database is running on Windows operating system, hackers easily hack the system data. Hackers easily hack the system data. System data means the database, it contains customer data, banking data. That's why all the banking, financial related projects, that could be anything. Financial related projects, the data is very, very important. They have to maintain very confidentially. They have to maintain very securely. To maintain this all the data, they are running the database on top of Linux operating system. If it is Linux operating system, hackers cannot hack our system data. That is the first point. If it is Windows, suppose I am running my database on Windows operating system. On Windows operating system. So Windows OS, its license also less. If it is Windows operating system, hackers easily hack our data. Means once they hack the data, whatever the balance, everything is immediately they can transfer to their account. Customers lose the amount. If any one time hackers hack the any banking data, the bank cannot survive in the market. All the customers, they can shift to other bank. Yes or no? So that's why all the financial related projects, they have to maintain Linux operating system. If it is Linux, hackers cannot hack the system. So that's why all the database projects, all the databases running on Linux operating system. You can take any flavor of the Linux, but the operating system is Linux. Suppose front end. Okay, what are the front end web portal? Suppose Flipkart, Amazon, front end application. Front end application also it's running on one of the operating system. There you can use Windows. It's not an issue, but where the database is running on the system, there it should be operating system is Linux, so that they can keep data very securely. In front end, what are the applications? Flipkart, Amazon, whatever. User interactive applications front end. They can use Windows. Yes, there we are not storing any data. That application is interacted by customers and users. There you can use Windows operating system. That is the importance of Linux. That's why all the database, most of the database running on Linux only. Anyone have any queries? Yes, let me know if you have any queries. Okay, so that's why we all are knows Windows operating system, but we don't know Linux operating system. We have to start from Linux operating system itself. How to install Linux operating system? What are the commands? So there are few commands are there. Only 50 to 60 commands are there. How to create a file, how to create a directory, how to copy the files, how to copy the directories, how to remove the files, how to remove the directory, how to give the permission, how to give the permission to directory. So these are all the things we have to go through the Linux basic commands. It takes less than 1 week. So once we familiar with this, then we can start with SQL. So that's about difference between Windows and Linux operating systems. Okay. So if you want to utilize any product, that could be Windows operating system or Linux operating system, there we have to pay the license. Suppose Linux RHEL. So Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Red Hat Enterprise Linux. RHEL means Red Hat Enterprise Linux. This is the most most of the projects they are using RHEL. Who developed this product? RHEL company only. So they developed RHEL company. This RHEL product developed by RHEL company. They started this product. They started sell this product to some license. Okay. So if you want to utilize my product, yes, you have to pay this much license, yearly some $1,000 like this. Yearly, you have to pay $1,000 so that you can utilize my Linux operating system. If you pay license while using this Linux operating system, if you face any issues, immediately you have to raise a ticket with RHEL. They have to fix our problem because it's a enterprise Linux. Wherever you see enterprise, that's a commercial product. Means it's not available free of cost. We have to pay some license cost if you want to utilize this RHEL. So if you pay the license $1,000 per year, so you can get the support. What type of support? Whatever the issues if you facing the while using this operating system. Suppose I am not able to install this RHEL. Yes, immediately you have to, there is a support portal is there, web portal. There you have to raise a ticket. They have to fix our problem. RHEL company, they have some engineers. They have to support us. They fix your problem. So means it's RHEL is a licensed based product. It's not a open source. So open source means product which is available free of cost, means no need to pay anything. Suppose in older days antenna. Yes, we can use freely antenna TV. Nowadays, there is a Dish TV is there, Airtel TV. You have to pay every month. You have to pay some amount. While suppose after paying, suppose Airtel TV, I paid monthly 1,000 rupees. There we get the some channels. Suppose one day my TV is not getting, it's not clearly. So immediately I can call to Airtel customer care. Yes or no? I can call to Airtel customer care. I can tell my problem. They give the solution. Like this, if you pay the license, we get the vendor support. Here, who is the vendor? Who is the owner of this product? Owner or vendor? Who is the vendor of this product? RHEL. RHEL only. Next, OEL. Oracle Enterprise Linux. Who developed this OEL Linux? Oracle company. Oracle company. So this Oracle, you can say vendor of this product, owner of this product. Who is the owner of this OEL?
07024.
So who is the vendor of this OEL? Oracle company. Who is the vendor of this product? OEL. If you have to pay license, you have to take the license from Oracle organization. While using this OEL, if you face any issues, yes, immediately you can get the support from Oracle vendor, Oracle owner. Like this, we have to take the you have to pay the license, you can get the support from Oracle. There is a open source, some open source operating systems are there. Open source operating systems. What are the open source operating system? There is a Ubuntu is there. Yes, Ubuntu is one of the Linux flavor. So for Ubuntu operating system, no need to pay anything. So it's a open source operating system. Wherever you see open source, no need to pay anything. No need to pay anything. It's available free of cost. Means there is no license. It's open source. Everybody can download the operating system. They can utilize. It's available free of cost. But while using this Ubuntu operating system, if you have any issues, we only fix our problems. There is no vendor support because we are not paying anything. It's available free of cost. Same if you use antenna in older days. So while using antenna, if your TV is not clear, so we have to wait some time or nothing we can do. So suppose if you use Airtel or Dish TV, so immediately you can call to customer care because we are paying something. So like this, the products will be available. That could be data operating system. If you take database also, there are some enterprise products are there. Oracle database. This is enterprise product means we have to pay the license if you want to use Oracle DB. Who developed this Oracle DB? Oracle company. Postgres. Yes, it's a open source DB. No need to pay anything. Postgres database. That's why there are many openings are there. Companies, they don't want to pay anything. They have to pay if they want to use Oracle database. If they want to use Postgres database, no need to pay anything. Same way, MySQL. Yes, it's developed by Oracle database. MS SQL, it's developed by Microsoft. Microsoft own product database is MS SQL. Operating system, Windows. For all the Windows, in any project, if they want to use Windows operating system, they have to pay the license to Microsoft company only. One and only company, they developed Windows operating systems. In Linux, there are many flavors available. In Windows, only Microsoft is available. That's about the difference between operating systems in Windows, in Linux. So what is the difference between open source and enterprise? Open source and enterprise. Clear? What is the open source product? What is the enterprise product? Enterprise means we have to pay the license. There we can get the vendor support like Airtel TV. Open source database means open source operating system means no need to pay anything. Here we are not getting any vendor support like antenna TV in older days. Clear? Any queries from anyone? Okay. So licensing. How the licensing they divide. There are basically three kind of operating systems license. One is open source operating system, free OS, commercial OS. Commercial OS means it's like enterprise. Enterprise means we have to pay license. So Linux is an open source operating system, which means that anyone can download and modify. Yes, it's a open source means we can download and we can modify. That is the open source operating system. No need to pay anything, but we can download and we can modify. What are the features? If you want to add, you can add it. That is the open source operating system. What about free OS? Free OS doesn't have to be an open source. They are free to download and use, but cannot modify. It's also no need to pay anything. Free operating system. We can download and we can use it, but we cannot modify free operating system. Example, Google owns Chrome OS. Commercial operating systems, yes, it's owned by some other vendors. It's a private property. Developed by some other organization. They started sell this product to some license. Yes, what are the features they given? Those features we can utilize. That's it. We have to pay every month, every year license. What are the issues facing? They will support us. Okay, that's a kind of license operating systems. In Windows, we know Microsoft Windows for all the computers, desktop, Apple mobiles, Android. Okay, so Mac OS, Android means few of the mobiles they use the Android operating system, iOS. Okay, in Windows, okay, everywhere there are system resources or the system resources. So people call as a system resources. System resources means there is a memory, it's a one of the resource. Hard disk is one of the resource. processor is one of the resource, OS is the one of the resource. So these are all the things we can call as a system resources. If your system resources are more, yes, we can install many apps. Suppose if you take mobile, if mobile having 4 GB memory only, we cannot install many applications because system resources having low memory. What are the system resources? System RAM, how much RAM installed, how much hard disk is there, storage. Hard disk means storage. If you take your mobile, what is the storage? Yes, you can say go to the settings. About there you can see storage, how much storage, total storage, how much memory installed, what is the processor. For mobile, for Windows computer, for anything we have to verify before buying this laptop or mobile. These we call as a system resources. If it is nowadays mobiles are coming with 12 GB, 16 GB. Okay, so laptop also minimum required 12 or 16 GB to get this training. Hard disk minimum required 500 GB. So 1 TB, that's fine. Processor minimum required i5. So these all called as a system resources. Clear? Any queries from anyone? Okay, so in Windows, we know we discussed C drive, D drive, E drive. These we called as a partitions or drives. In case of Linux, you can see there are a difference between Linux and difference between Windows operating system and Linux. I can say Windows. If you take Windows, so in Windows, here file folder under partitions. Partitions are drives. So example partitions tell me C drive, D drive, E drive. So file we know, yes, file or folder, yes. In case of Linux operating system, the same file is there. File is there. Instead of folder, here you can say directory. The purpose of directory and folder both are same. Okay, so here partitions, yes, here also you can say partitions. Partitions. So here you can say partitions, not drives. Here you can say mostly drives. In Linux, the same drives you can say partitions. How the partitions will be there? You can say like this: /u01, /u02, /u03. Like this, the partitions are file mount points. Mount points. So this is the difference between Linux and Windows. Here file is there to store the data, folder is there to keep the multiple files inside the folder. Here file also there to store the same data, directory to keep the n number of files inside the directory. Here you can say drives are partitions. Here you can say partitions are mount points. How the mount points will be there? Not C drive, D drive. U01, U02, U05 like this. Slash, there is a root file system. Okay. Slash BKP, you can give any name. While installing Linux operating system, we have to create the partitions or mount points. If you want to give your name here, you can give. Like this, we can create the partitions while installing the Linux operating system. Here we have to mainly focus on Linux operating system only, not Windows. Windows we all are knows. We are not using the database in Windows. All the projects they are using Linux operating systems. Okay. So next. Okay. How we can set up the lab? Where we can install this Linux operating system. So we are going to create a virtual machine. So there is to create virtual machines. Suppose, okay, let me This is my laptop. Okay. So inside my laptop, I installed a Windows 11 operating system. I shown before. Windows 11. So what was the RAM? My memory 32 GB. This is for RAM. What was the hard disk? Means storage. So it's almost 1.8 terabyte TB. What was the processor? i5. So I log into my laptop because I installed Windows 11 operating system. So I opened my laptop. So here I need to install a Linux operating system. How to install Linux operating system? To install Linux operating system, we have to create a virtual machine. Means, what is the meaning of virtual machine? There is a people, okay. There is a, suppose if you take virtual meeting. Virtual meeting means you guys all are joined right now virtual meeting only. Means via some application, Zoom application, some like Zoom application. You join right now virtual meeting. Physical meeting means you have to come to institute. Here you have to participate in meeting. That is a physical meeting, face to face. So here we are creating the virtual mission. We are creating the virtual mission. You can say virtual mission. So for each and every virtual mission, it's required RAM. Yes, minimum 5 GB required. It required storage, hard disk, minimum. There it's required 100 GB. Okay. So you can say by using this main system resources, out of 32 GB, I create one virtual machine, assign 5 GB out of 32. If you want to run this virtual machine, it's required some memory, some hard disk. So I assigned the hard disk out of 1.8 terabyte. I assigned 100 GB only. Out of 32 GB, I assigned 5 GB only. So how to create this virtual machine? By using this existing system resources. For that, we have to use one software application, Oracle VirtualBox. Oracle VirtualBox. This is the VirtualBox software. You have to download this. You have to install this application. Once install this application software, there we can create the virtual missions. So suppose I installed this is my VirtualBox application. Yes, I installed. Using this application software, using this Oracle VirtualBox software, I can create virtual mission. This is my virtual mission. By using this Oracle VirtualBox, I create a virtual mission. Here, how much assigned RAM? Suppose I RAM assigned 5 GB. There is my total 32 GB. Out of 32, I assigned 5 GB to this mission. And hard disk 100 GB assigned. Yes, the mission name is I given mission 1. You can give any name. Virtual mission name is mission 1 I given. So just I created a mission. This is virtual mission. To start this virtual mission, what we require? Yes. I want to open my virtual mission 1. What it required? Virtual means it's computer only. So to start the computer, what we required? Operating system. This virtual machine also required any one of the operating system. You can install Windows or Linux. So here I installed a Linux operating system. This is my Linux operating system. Yes, if we install a Linux operating system inside the virtual mission 1, yes, then I can start mission 1 Linux operating system. If we install Linux operating system, after top of the Linux, I have to install my database. Yes, this is my database. So this is how we can set up the lab environment. Like this, how many missions I can create in my laptop? My total 32 GB. Each virtual mission is required 5 GB. How many virtual missions I can create? I can start at a time. 32 by 5. How many missions? almost 6 missions, not 6, 5. 5 into 5, 25 GB. The remaining 6 GB, it's required for the main laptop, the main operating system. The main operating system, the main laptop, to run the main laptop, it's required 5 GB, 6 GB memory. For this 6 GB, for this, it's required 6 GB. The inside the laptop, you can create how many missions you can start at a time? Almost like this, you can start 5 missions at a time. When you start the mission, that time only they can utilize system resources. Just I created a mission 1, it's not utilize memory and hard disk. When it is going to utilize, when you start the virtual mission 1, after installing Linux operating system, when you start the virtual mission, that time only it can go and utilize that RAM and hard disk. Like this, we can create n number of virtual missions. Each and every virtual mission, it's required install one operating system, that could be Linux or Windows. Clear? Any queries? Simple. So when you stop your laptop, yes, you can stop it. Shut down. When you start the laptop, you can start the laptop, then you can start this virtual mission. If you want to connect the database, you have to start this virtual mission. You have to log into Linux operating system. There is a Linux default user is there, root. You have to log into Linux operating system, then connect the database. The database is running on top of Linux operating system. Like this, we can set up lab environment in real time also. They have to the same process to connect the database. So tomorrow we'll start the lab practical. We'll start the download the Oracle VirtualBox Manager application. I will show you how to download and how to install. Then how to download the Oracle Linux operating system. Then how to install the Linux operating system. How to create the partitions. Then how to log in the Linux mission. Everything we will show you tomorrow. Okay, so that's it from my side.